Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building.
Well, that's a change of events.
The best show for Chicago sports.
Who saw this coming? Am I right? Breeze Nation, what is good? It is your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Jordan JC will be joining us here momentarily. Just when you thought Max Crosby was a Raven, the Ravens have backed out of the deal, and the Chicago Bears could be back in. Now the question on the table is, should the Chicago Bears find their way back into the Max Crosby conversation, and what is the price going to be? Drop a bet down in the comments, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I mean, shocking. I've never seen anything like this with a player this big. I've never seen anything like this with the player of this ilk. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love as always, as we're getting things cracking here. Let's get Jordan JC into the building and get his reaction on all of this, because I mean, literally just stunned yesterday. JC, what's going on, my guy?
What's up, Pat, man? What's going on, Breeze Nation?
How you feeling, man? How you feeling, Brody?
Feeling good, man. Back to 100%, but man, you want to talk about a stunner. What is going on?
Bro, listen, unbelievable. Just still massive question marks.
Yeah.
Shocked to see that this has happened. I from multiple GMs yesterday. Essentially, all you're hearing is, now watch them go sign Trey Hendrickson. It seems like the Ravens are kind of scumbagging their way through this one.
Yeah. Seems like it.
Seems like there's kind of this
chicanery afoot.
Yeah, a little chicanery going on, a little confusion going on in this situation. So we'll get into all that and more on today's episode, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let's start it off with this, JC. I mean, the big question here around this is, you know, with him back on the market, we have heard that the Cowboys don't seem to want to be re-engaging in trade talks, but that the that the Raiders are in fact hearing, you know, getting calls from multiple teams on Max Crosby at this point. If you can get him for more of a discount, if you can get him for the price that you are looking to pay, or that you maybe even were looking to pay, are you back in on Max Crosby? By the way, for everybody freaking out, oh God, why would you trade for a guy when now he can't pass a physical? Everyone got to talk to Max Crosby's doctor ahead of making trade offers.
Exactly.
Everyone knew the scenario of what Max Crosby was going to be dealing with ahead of making trade offers. Do not take what is being thrown out there. Look at what the Raiders said. Not that he failed a physical. They just said that the Ravens backed out of the trade. With all of that on the table, are you in on Max Crosby?
I mean, why wouldn't you be? I mean, now you're knowing that the trade value for Max Crosby is now cheaper because of all the debacle that is going on, and so you're back in. Obviously, I don't know what the Bears offered last time, but his value has gone down. You're not expecting them to have all the leverage, meaning the Las Vegas Raiders now, because of the reversal of the trade. And Does that mean now they're only going to take maybe one first round pick? Are you back in on getting a first round pick and maybe a few other lesser round picks to get Max Crosby? Is that going to do the job, or will 2 round picks do the job? So now it's just a matter of what is the value for Max, given the fact that this quote unquote meniscus issue and the physical he didn't pass the physical is now a problem. Now he's being taken for lesser compensation, and so I think Ryan Poles would be beyond foolish if he didn't do his due diligence and call to the Las Vegas Raiders and do everything he can to try and get Crosby here. Because as far as I'm concerned, I thought Crosby wanted to come here. I thought Chicago was his preferred destination before all of this went down. And, we just didn't want to give up 2 first-round picks, which was smart. But now that we're in a position of strength, I think that you should go all in and get him, because it's not hampering your future, but it's also helping your present.
Yeah, and listen, I think you still have to look at some of the other teams that are involved in this. The one thing that I would say, and I think you're coming through your PC, JC, not through your mic.
Okay.
The one thing that I would say in this situation for the Bears is, don't get desperate on this. Don't feel like you have to get this deal done, because you were ready to operate in a situation where Max Crosby was not going to be a Bear. That plan could still very well be there. But if you can find a way to get him at a discount, if you can find a way to get the price a little bit lower, I mean, why wouldn't you want to go in on that conversation? Now, are you probably still going to have to offer a first round pick in the reality of it? Yeah, more than likely you're going to have to offer one, because I don't think that anything really changes. The Ravens are trying to make it seem like this is going to have massive changes, massive implications, right? Everybody had the information. Nobody here is confused about the information. They knew that Max Crosby had a meniscus tear. By the way, guys, it's a meniscus tear. Like, people are acting like Max Crosby got shot in the face. he tore his meniscus. We have seen many a player come back from a torn meniscus. I am pretty sure that Max Crosby will survive a torn meniscus and be able to step back on the field and become a wrecking ball. But what I don't want you to do is sit here and say, hey, we missed this opportunity before. We can't miss this again. Let's go all in. All in is not a conversation for me anymore with this, because of, you have more leverage in this situation. And the only thing that the Ravens can do, or I'm sorry, I keep saying the Ravens, the Raiders can do,
I know, right?
That maybe throws you off in this is if they say, F it, we'll just keep them. Like, they can do that. They still have $37 million to play with. You spent a ton of money. You can go out and be fine with Max Crosby. It may hamper some of the other moves that you were going to make, but you got Fernando Mendoza, a starting center. You've got him some great running back already in place. You're starting to, build that O-line up. Defensively, you want to add some pieces there. And really, you just wanted to add young capital where you didn't have to spend a ton of money now. But worst case scenario that they're in is you keep Max Crosby. If they want to go down that path and live that life, have fun. But I wouldn't all of a sudden be like, we got to get this done. I'll give you the 2 first. We got to get this done. I'll give you a first and a high second, right? Like, I think you're in an advantageous situation where if you're giving up 25, I'm fine with that. I was fine with it before. I'm fine with it now. I'd be talking about 25 and a future second. I'd be talking about 25 and maybe one of this year's later round seconds. Like, there's a lot that I think that the Bears can gain leverage wise, and if they're still not willing to play ball in that with a less deep swimming pool of teams to go after to trade him to, you don't hurt yourself and how much you can build in the future for trying to overpay right now.
My thing is that if you're the Raiders, I feel like there's still going to be a path to a breakup with Vegas and Max Crosby. I feel like that was already kind of understood. even though maybe Las Vegas would have wanted to keep him, I think it was understood that Max was fine with parting ways, and so does that mean that maybe Tom Brady can kind of sway situations? It's kind of funny that Tom Brady is part of their organization. Where I saw a meme on Twitter the other day where was this all part of the plan? Just like we've always known. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah.
Where they get Tyler Linbaum from the Ravens and they build up their team, and then oops, oh well, we got to get Max Crosby back. Give us our
I don't know
back.
about that Crosby. Have fun with him.
Man, that meniscus. Okay, give him right back, and that's how you make a championship team there. But for me, if they're really trying to let him go again, why wouldn't you put him back on the trade market to a team like Chicago, obviously, and get even more picks added on to now the two first rounders you got back, to strengthen even more of your team as far as going through the draft. And so that's the thing for me. I wouldn't shy away from a Max Crosby again. Apparently, by a lot of reports, they're saying that what it says is he's 8 weeks removed from meniscus surgery, but I believe 2 weeks removed from being off of crutches.
Yeah.
If I'm correct in that, and his doctors and everybody is basically saying he's been on track, and I don't know if there's some truth behind it, but a lot of people were saying that the more times go on, the knee is going to be an issue where it could backfire as he plays long term. But then there's other issues that are kind of challenging that. There's other reports that are challenging that. The doctor's saying that he's going to continue to progress and the knee is going to be lesser of a problem as he gets back on the field and gets healthier and stronger. And so, again, I feel like there's some foul play involved. I feel like the cover-up story is the failed physical, quote unquote, and that eventually we're going to really find out the truth. Hopefully we will. Or more facts as we come along here. But again, I think the Bears are in the wheelhouse of really getting a deal done that doesn't mess up their future and doesn't mess up their like I said, their present. And Ryan Post can really create a amazing roster if he gets Crosby here now.
Here's the reality of the situation. He probably was already planning on it torn. It's a meniscus. You could play through meniscus.
I could see Max doing that. Yeah.
He probably was already playing on it torn.
He did play hurt. Still had 10 some sacks last season.
Like it's funny to me that like all of a sudden people are starting to treat a meniscus tear like this is something that you can never bounce back from. And I think a lot of it is because a lot of us were resigned to the fact that Max Crosby wasn't going to be here, or it was, you never wanted Max Crosby to be here because of how much draft capital it was going to cost. Again, I think for me, if we're having a conversation on paying similar or anywhere near what the Ravens were paying, I'm out. I've been pretty consistent. 2 firsts a lot. I don't want to give up 2 firsts for Max Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't want to give up 2 firsts for Max Crosby.
Oh, but you shouldn't be.
If you can find a way to give up less capital, and it sounds like the teams that were in outside of the Ravens seemed like they were the one team that was willing to go all in and say, we're going to give up the multiple first-round picks. We're going for a Super Bowl right now. We want to win this thing. I think now they're in this world where they're like, listen, we could just pay Trey Hendrickson. I would bet you Trey Hendrickson is a Raven by the end of today. I would bet you quite a bit that Trey Hendrickson is a Raven by the end of today. And we'll see how that ends up working out. Yeah. But this is an advantage in negotiation for you. This is an advantage in trying to maximize what you're giving back, even if you're giving up some capital, maybe to give less capital in that situation. Like, I think that is okay in my mind for the Bears, where it's okay for you to spend on this guy. It's okay for you to go after him, but find a way to get this down as low as possible. The bottom line is Max Crosby is still an incredibly talented player, right? The draft capital is the draft capital. I would love to keep as much of it as possible, but Max Crosby can walk in here and give you 10 sacks. And you're going to have a motivated Max Crosby paired up with somebody opposite Montez Sweat who can also give you 10 sacks. Like, that's something that does help your team. And I think here's the real conversation you got to have. And more than likely, there's going to have to be some kind of restructure of Crosby's contract or an extension to try and lower that number so that you can still make moves this year. But think about all of the moves that you just made. Think about what this defense looks like. And the bottom line of it all, I tweeted out yesterday, this is the most important draft for polls because all the moves you made are singles and doubles. Every signing you've made are singles and doubles.
Mm-hmm.
And you can score those runs with a good defensive line. Kobe Bryant's phenomenal. He needs a defensive line in front of him. Devin Bush, I thought he was great last year. You know what helped him be great? Myles Garrett, Carson Schlesinger. Yeah, I mean, Mason Graham. That helps you be great. You have to help these guys go out there and be great. And so now with all of these moves that you've made defensively, what does Maxx Crosby add to those pieces? Now you're talking about a defense that you can look at and go, yo, this is a problem. A real big problem real fast. Now you can see the full vision, and it's not without Tremaine. It's not without, Deshaun Wright, who I was surprised about the money he got yesterday. But it is with guys that I think you put a defensive line in front of them, you go into the draft, you address defensive tackle, which still needs to be addressed in a major way.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a defensive line that is a problem. And now you're talking about an entire defense that Dennis Allen can really feel comfortable calling.
That's the beautiful thing about what Ryan Poles did. We all, and myself included, were excited about day one of this thing and getting the splashy moves. But in a sense, he made some small noises. I love the Devin Bush signing. I love the Cam Lewis signing. I definitely love the Kobe Bryant signing.
Yeah.
The Gallimore signing is an underrated one at defensive tackle. Like, all of these small things are contributing to what exactly they said they needed. They needed faster, they needed stronger, they needed more athletic players on the defense that are up and coming, that are young players as well, in their prime or going into their prime. And so Ryan Poles has really done a good job of navigating the free agency the right way, not getting too much on the hype train and overpaying and just doing whatever the fan base wants, right? We want everything to be exciting and splashy, like I said. But now you have an opportunity where you can do that and kind of like finish this free agency off in a splash by getting Maxx Crosby at lesser value. And like you said, what does that do? What does that contribute to the abilities of all the new players we just mentioned? How does that take the top off of this defense becoming elite when you add a Maxx Crosby to that line and you get a motivated Dayo Adengbo, by the way?
Oh boy, let me tell you something.
Like that is the biggest role right now.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. I really hope he has a good season. Like, it don't got to be great, but find your way to have like a 6-sack season. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
They got troll.
You the biggest joke in Chicago right now.
Motivated,
like not you personally, but like your game is the biggest joke in Chicago right now. Like, people hear you say that you motivated, and literally everybody did that LeBron meme where he's, oh, you know what I mean? Like,
like, are you serious? Like, we'll give you a motivated Dayo Adengbo for Maxx Crosby. That's all you need. Like for me, I think again that is what could take this defense over the top. When you add a premier pass rusher to everything we added here, and then, like you said, you continue to kind of pile on in the draft, because then now we need to address the depth, like you said, at the interior and then the offensive. The defensive edge, and so. I just think it's going to be fun to see what will happen in the next 12 hours, 24 hours, maybe. Hopefully something starts getting rumored, and it may be in our favor. I think that's the fun thing about free agency, is that you just never know how things will play out. And so Ryan Poles, again, just do your due diligence and make sure that you are in a position of strength this time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think you always were in a position of strength because you didn't you weren't looking to go all in on him, right? The report where it was 2 first-round picks from Rich Eisen was he got feraled. You know what I mean? He got atom bombed.
Who is that dude, by the way?
It literally says in his name, follow me for parody NFL updates. He's NFL version of NBA Centel.
Oh my goodness, bro.
And it is hilarious to me the amount of people that fall for it every single time. He says some off the wall stuff.
Is he ever like on point?
No, he's not trying to be.
Yeah.
He's saying off the wall stuff on purpose. And it's like people get got by it. I said, listen, hey, look, Rich, I love being here at ESPN Chicago. But if you need me to come over there and just be your fact check guy, I got you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you need somebody on the staff who's young enough to know parody, I got you. You know what I mean?
Just overlooked that.
A couple of super chats in the building. By the way, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We are over 100 in a chat.
Hey.
Over 200 in a chat.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Over 300 in a chat.
Yeah.
Over 400 in a chat. 400. 400. Let's get 400 likes on the video,
Appreciate y'all, man.
Papa Smurf with the super chat. He said, that means every team in the NFC North can now afford him possibly. I mean, listen, you still got to have the money to do it. But yeah, I mean, Detroit was always a name that we thought could be in on Maxx Crosby. They
just restructured Jared Goff, what I heard.
Yeah, they just restructured Jared Goff as well. So a lot of money has been cleared up. They switched their focus on Maxx Crosby when the whole, what was the safety kidnapping situation?
Oh, you talking about Terry and Arnold?
Yeah, they switched their focus when that happened because you had to make sure that you were gonna have a player not go to federal prison for kidnapping. But yeah, I mean, realistically, yes, every team can be in on it. And I think that's a conversation now that is very valid. You saw, right, the Lions have cleared cap space. Minnesota clearing cap space. Is there a conversation on playing a little defense by making sure that he doesn't go to an opponent in the division?
Well, he still prefers Chicago. So, I mean, I don't know if you can play that much defense.
Well, he's from Michigan, so he probably prefers Michigan. He played at Michigan.
Yeah.
He's a Lions fan.
No one cares about Detroit. No one cares about Detroit.
He literally is the one person that cares about Detroit.
I don't know. That would be messed up. I don't want you make sure he doesn't get there. That's all.
That's one of those situations where you go, ooh, I need that meniscus tear to flare up a little bit. That's the only way to slow him down. It's not going to stop him. He's still going to play. But it's the only way to slow him down. Joseph with the super chat, he said, I would rather lock up Darnell and use our top picks on the defensive line. Rams change their D-line in 2 drafts. We already have some pieces. Listen, you got a bunch of rotational guys and a solid number 2. If I can get a number 1, I would love to do that, but it depends on what you're giving up. If you're telling me we're giving up the pick that we got for DJ Moore in the 25th pick, I'm fine with it.
25 and 60?
Fine with it. But here's the thing, you're giving up a pick you weren't planning on using before you got to the offseason. Right? So there's still a lot where you can operate there. You've still got multiple seconds in that situation. You've still got your 3rd round pick. You still got your 4th round pick. Just start hitting on some of them. There's still a ton of opportunity to add impact pieces there. Brandon Green with the super chat. He said, any word on what the issue was with Max's physical? No, excuse me. Sorry about that cough there. Also, why don't trades require a medical check before signing the deal? Well, nothing's been signed. That's the problem. For everyone who doesn't know, this is the legal tampering period. So you're just agreeing to everything in principle. Everyone can back out of their deals right now. And we have seen this happen a ton. It just has never happened with a player as big as Maxx Crosby, which I'm not going to lie to you. Because of how big this is, I could see the legal tampering period coming to an end.
You literally took the words right out of my mouth.
I
was
could
gonna
see
bring
the
that up
legal
next.
tampering period coming to an end because they spent, like, imagine if they didn't have the cap space. It's fine because they do.
Yeah.
But imagine if they're like, we got Max Crosby off the books. We're going to go sign X, Y, and Z. And that $30 million was what you signed X, Y, and Z with. You in a bad spot. You in a real bad spot there. Like, this may lead to the end of the legal tampering period.
I mean, yeah, with the fact that you were able to like reverse a trade of this magnitude and still come away with. By the way, from what I read, also Las Vegas is going to honor all of their picks or rather, all of the trades that they that went
all the
down
contracts
in the
they
last
signed.
48 hours. Yeah, so
Yep.
so there's not going to be any reverse with anything, which is another reason why I think we're probably going to see Max get some interest from another team, hopefully us, within the next hours here, next day here. But as far as like, what's the word on this physical and why don't trades require a medical check? Like you said, it's
They
a tampering period. You can't. They do, but to answer the first question, I don't. Again, I personally don't think that it was a real failed physical. If I'm being completely honest, those are my assumptions. Because I believe Jordan Schultz said that many GMs around the league are feeling like there's some tomfoolery and that this could affect, the way that Baltimore is viewed down the line when it comes to them being trade partners. And so, there's that. But overall, again, I just want to see what the compensation will be. What is Las Vegas expecting back? Because again, I wouldn't even try to trade my first this year and the second. Like again, maybe for me that's a little too rich. I feel like if you were to trade the second, let's say the 60th pick this year, and maybe next year's first, that way you're not actually affecting any of your original picks from this year.
Yeah.
And you can still get Max Crosby and still pick from 25th and what is it, 39 or 57?
Yeah.
And then, continue forward. So I think that, again, there's a path where the Bears really can take advantage of this situation and kind of bring it in their favor.
By the way, it probably was a failed physical. He would have failed every physical from every team.
Oh, no.
He can't. He's not 100% yet. You were trading for him knowing he is 8 weeks out from meniscus surgery. You spoke with his doctors. There's no surprise here. Failed physical is the easy designation for you to get out of this. But there is no shock. There is no surprise on failed physical. He would have failed 31 other teams' physicals. He is not physically 100%. That is the bottom line. So when you hear that, don't go, oh, he's all of a sudden, why would you trade for a player that is hurt? Why would you trade for a player that was banged up? You were trading for a player that was hurt no matter what. It's a meniscus. They didn't saw his leg off in there. By the way, if they had sawed his leg off, he might have been the first player to record 8.5 sacks with one leg. Like Max Crosby is that kind of guy.
Just,
I mean, like,
by any means necessary.
Heck of a spin move, just straight to the ground, back up. I gotcha. Like I think people are looking at this and they're taking the failed physical thing and they're saying like, oh, so he was banged up and they hid this. No, nothing was hidden. Everything was put in the front of all of these teams that were offering picks. Dallas knew, the Bears knew, the Ravens knew. There was no, we're trying to sneak something in here. This is a way for the Ravens to back out of the deal so that they can go. Remember, they restructured Lamar yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So with that restructured Lamar, you got a ton of money to spend. Now you got 2 first-round picks back, and you could just go out and pay Trey Hendrickson the price that he wants.
Yeah, that's another conversation.
It's truly, excuse me, it's truly just bad business. I mean, listen, Denzel Washington said it best. We're talking about honor and integrity. I say honor and integrity.
Ain't none of that.
None of that is here.
We got a very good question from our very own Joe Holt, super producer, in the chat. He said, "Is he supposed to be healthy at the start of the year?" I believe they said he is on track to start the year. He won't miss any actual time in the season if there's no setbacks. So
yeah,
he should be good by July, I believe.
He's. I mean, it's a meniscus surgery. Usually, recovery is about 6 months because it was a full tear, so probably the full extent of that, probably about 6 to 8 months, I think, for a full tear meniscus, because this was not a repair. This was not a a cleanup. This was a full on repair. He should be back, I would assume, doing some things by training camp. Probably not full out, but starting to make some improvements by training camp. He'll be ready to go by the season.
Okay.
So again, this is nothing that the Bears weren't expecting.
By the way, it's funny. This is the offseason where there's going to be a lot of questions around just certain rules that have been put in place. Not only the tampering situation, but also the Rooney Rule. Like, this is the offseason where everybody's getting screwed in one way or another. And I feel like maybe it'll be a little bit of NFL justice if, because we did not get our compensatory picks, we get Max Crosby for the Chiefs. So hopefully these are the NFL guys.
The Raiders aren't going to give us no NFL justice. We know that much.
I need the NFL guys working out.
The bottom line is it really just comes down to how desperate are the Ravens to move on from them. And I get it, right? Like, they are the conversation they're going to have is we're fine with keeping Max Crosby, which, I mean, honestly, you probably are. Like, you're not in a worse situation with Max Crosby on your team.
Yeah.
You're giving your young quarterback a lot to work with if you got Max Crosby on your team. You just can't go out and do a lot of the things in free agency that you were hoping that you were going to be able to do, but you already made a ton of big moves at the top. Windy City said, our defensive line is the biggest piece with the super chat. I don't know why, I can't get rid of this little tickle in my throat. Pause. Nah, I'm standing on that. Everybody says that. I'm not. Nah. That's a regular sickness thing.
I'm trying to draw the pause attention off of me, so I'm watching you.
Yeah, I bet you are. Our defensive line is the biggest piece we need to fix this offseason, and you have a player who has to be double teamed. Why not make the move? It comes down to how much you got to spend.
Agreed.
That's bottom line. It comes down to how much you got to spend. I'm not 2 firsts, I'm out. I said that earlier. 2 firsts, I'm out. If you can find a way to make the draft capital make sense, make the contract make sense once he gets here, because I think there's still some things that you possibly could add. But again, like, I go back to this, dog. Like, you look at the trade. If you trade for Max Crosby and add him to a defense with Neville Gallimore, who, as far as a defensive tackle and a pass rusher, run game, we got problems. Right? Run game, he's not pretty. But as far as a pass rusher, his 10-yard split is a 1.67. He's going to get under the center quick. He's really good at being able to create penetration.
Yeah,
now all of a sudden you've got a guy that can penetrate the middle of the pocket, force quarterbacks into the arms of Max Crosby and or Montez Sweat.
Yeah,
I'm excited about that.
Yep, give him a nice big
You still
hug.
got Shamar Turner coming back. That could be a solid move for you. You add in Devin Bush, who helps you a ton in the run game because of his speed, being able to catch running backs, being able to be in there on tight ends. You add Kobe Bryant into the conversation 20 years after we originally tried to get Kobe Bryant, right? And and I love the Bears admins. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was elite.
Hey, now we should really do that.
That's what I'm saying. Did you see the Bears admin, the Bears Twitter tweet that out? They just did that. They just did that.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. That's cold.
They just tweeted that out. I was like,
that's cold.
Well done. But you had Kobe Bryant to that mix. Like, now you're talking about an incredibly dangerous defense. Oh, by the way, I've got Caleb Williams. I've got Luther Burden. I've got Roma Dunze. I've got Colston Loveland. I've got an offensive line that seems like it has some answers yet again going into this season, and maybe a couple of questions still out there, and we'll see kind of how that holds up. But you feel comfortable about what you brought in there. You've still got DeAndre Swift. You've still got Kyle Monangai. You've still got all of these pieces that just having a middle of the road defense or having a just above top 15 defense makes you a Super Bowl caliber team.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the conversation is so interesting to me, because now it's not just Maxx Crosby and the rest of them boys. There's some names on this defense that you feel really strongly about. Somebody else threw a super chat. Officially, Bryce Music said, if Matt can go for 2 seconds, Crosby's worth 1 first. Yeah, he's worth a first.
He was worth a first. I'm going to give you these 2 seconds and a motivated diet.
And a motivated diet.
You're going to be happy
baby.
about it. You're going to be happy about it is all I'm going to say.
Brandon Green said with the super chat, he said, yo, Pat, does the back wall light up when you speak?
I did see that. I was trying to say, is that like a voice thing?
It is voice, but it's more slow for
Voice
music.
Activated light? Oh.
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to go to like the beat of the bass. So whenever my daughter's down here, she always wants to hear see the lights go with the music, and I always forget to turn it off when I'm doing the show.
I've been in your basement, obviously. You got some crazy parties going on down there.
Oh yeah, we're raving it up down here, my boy.
Yeah,
big rave
concerts.
guy.
Oh,
big rave guy. Yeah, you. I'm talking about what's that meme of that one kid where he's just like,
oh yeah. All right. Yeah,
that's how we do it, man. I do want to do. I ain't gonna lie to you. I probably never will because I don't have that many friends. But I do want to do one of them things where you just like move all the furniture out the way and we just party it up down here.
Okay.
Throw some house music on. I heard you say, hey. I heard you say, hey. I heard you say.
Shout out to Jay Crit. I want to
Jay Crit's alive. Jay Crit
is alive. Yeah, I know, right? Out of nowhere. He says the Rooney Rule might as well be the macaroni and cheese rule. It means nothing anymore. Yeah, macaroni rule. Yeah, that's
Fourth quarter podcast. Relax. He said Diddy parties.
We're
not doing those kind of parties, buddy.
Now.
I'm not throwing those kind of shindigs.
No.
Pterodactyl Pop said you're throwing a chicken nugget party.
All right. Now, hey, that's not a problem with that.
I'm not going to lie to you. Hold on. Let's have a conversation.
Chicken nugget party, all right? Different type of chicken nugget.
Everybody brings a 10-piece nugget from somewhere else.
Ooh, yeah, like a Chick-fil-A nugget.
Yeah. That's
spicy
you
nugget
immediately
box
go Chick-fil-A every time. That's your go-to nugget, ain't it?
Is it?
I mean,
I like the grilled chicken nugget. I like the grilled nuggets. I'm sorry, I'm a grilled nugget guy. With the little the grilled lining on it with the lemony zesty
little
flavor.
Lemon zest. Yeah.
Little lemon zest. Okay. I'm a grilled guy.
Steve-O said, you see oil, you leave.
There's a lot of slipperiness going on. I'm out of here.
Yeah. No. What do we got here? G Dab said, I work in sports medicine, dog. If you think meniscal repair is detrimental the same way as an ACL, that we are not on the same page. Yeah, listen, guys, I think that's kind of the conversation that I've been having the entire time, right? Like, people saw failed physical and was like, hey, it's over. He's done. His career's over. No, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is something that we've watched. By the way, players play through no meniscus. Players have played through. We watched Kobe Bryant for the last 8 years of his career, bone on bone. Not Kobe Bryant that the Bears have, Kobe Bryant that the original Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, the late Kobe Bryant, yeah.
Like, this is not a new phenomenon of like, how's this guy going to be able to play through? If it was ACL, if it was Achilles, if it was... I mean, like, there's a litany of things that I'd be like, yeah, that you might want to avoid him. He's not worth a first. Yada, yada. Like, this is the easiest thing of all time as far as injuries go.
Yeah.
This is the one in the NBA where they do more jumping than anything, where we go, he'll be back in a little bit. He'll be back starting season. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook went through that, right?
That's a different animal. Russell Westbrook tore his ACL and then came back and his first play was a dunk. He tore his ACL.
Oh,
Him and D Rose
never
tore
mind.
ACL.
Never mind.
666.
Well, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
What was the injury that Adrian Peterson went through?
ACL.
Okay, so those are just different animals. All right, never mind.
Yeah. No, they're ridiculous.
Okay.
Like literally, that was the problem with the whole Derrick Rose situation, right? Because D Rose took like a year and 6 months or something to come back from his ACL injury, and it was the mental aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
And he couldn't get over. What hurt him in that situation was Russ came back like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a meniscus tear?
I thought it was a meniscus at first.
Was it a meniscus tear? I thought it was ACL.
I thought that's what I'm saying. I think you're right on Peterson. I think Russell.
Well, I know AP tore his ACL because he came back in like an hour and then ran for 2,000 yards.
Just dominated the league. I do believe Russ only had a meniscus, but even still, he came back and just like that's when he went on his triple-double tear, averaging triple-doubles every season.
Man, Russ been in the league a long time, bro.
Putting up triple-doubles again, too. Not on an irrelevant team now.
Well, listen, you got to do what you got to do. Bro, him going at again, did we talk about that? Him going at people?
Yeah, the interview.
Bro,
with the media. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, he's in it. You had a super chat from 666.
Dang, this don't even go back that far.
I got you.
It ain't that important. Super chat from 666. 666 said this year's first, the second we got for DJ, we won't get a Crosby level player at 25 this year. I'd be okay with losing 2 picks this year for him. Listen,
I may agree with that. Maybe.
Here's what I'll say about what we will or won't get in the draft. You don't know. Everybody thought James Pierce was a dude. Now he's going to jail. But everybody thought James Pierce was just a dude. That's why he fell so far to Atlanta. James Pierce, I believe, had 10.5 sacks last year. I mean, like, he ended up being everything that they thought he was going to be the previous year. He had 10.5 sacks last year. Was creating pressure all over that defensive line. It was a problem. Like, I think there are players that have shown you that they have the traits to be whatever you hope they're going to be. The question comes down to one thing that we actually got a chance to see last year. What is Dennis Allen going to do as far as development?
Mm-hmm.
Me being excited about Kobe Bryant coming here is because Al Harris is here. Development. I know he just won the Super Bowl.
I can't wait for that.
But development, putting him in the right position, taking the football away. We know what he's able to do. Me being excited about Neville Gallimore coming here is because you're seeing something as far as a pass rush situation goes.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to get some of that development that we've seen on this defensive staff here. Like, those are the things that get me excited about going out and possibly taking a chance on the draft. It's why I'm okay if you don't pay top tier capital to go after a guy like that, because at the end of the day, you have a coaching staff that finds pieces and gets the most out of them.
And that's one of the things that you love about the draft and going that route for the most part is, I mean, Max Crosby was a 4th round pick. And so, if you think you can possibly find a gem like we did this past year, 7th round, we got Cal Monungai.
Yeah.
Cal Monungai continued development. Looks like he could potentially be your 3-down back. Like, he has that potential. And yet a lot of people overlooked him. And so there's going to be players out there where they may get overlooked because teams will need, other positions of need filled, or they're over evaluating other players and feel like, they're going to go for the high ceiling player or the one trick pony player, whatever the case may be. So there's going to be players that fall through the cracks. It's just about you making sure you evaluate properly and find that rare gem, find that Nikola Jokic, find that next Max Crosby, find that next Jimmy Butler in your draft for football. And so, even if he's not there at 25, could we find a gem at 60? Could we find a gem later on in the 4th round? And so, there's always the potential of that and the player turning into something special. It's just a matter of you doing your due diligence and really evaluating these players.
And the bottom line of it all is this process can be very fun if we get Max Crosby and we're competitive now.
Yes.
But ultimately, the only way for it to be successful is if you're good in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So you better hope that they're able to go out and find a Max Crosby in the draft. You better hope that they're able to go out and find their version of some of these top tier players in the draft. Because if you're not going to be good very long. You're going to be fun for a short time. And then you're going to be trying to replace some of these pieces and it's going to be over. You have to be able to hit in the draft. Otherwise, it's all going to fall apart at some point anyway. So if these guys are good at drafting, the first draft was great. First draft was great. Great draft. And still a couple of question marks. Listen, like we talk about development. What's the development of Zay Frazier going to look like?
That's going to be fun. I think he's a better Nashawn Wright.
Listen, if he can cover it all, he's a better Nashawn Wright. What's the development of listen, Nashawn was cool, but like it's picker popped.
Say he's a boomer bust superstar.
You know
that's actually true.
What's Shamar Turner look like? What is there's so many things that are still on the table that the Bears can hopefully learn from and grow from this offseason. And hopefully this team is going to be able to do that fairly quickly here. And we got some answers on this, what this defense is going to look like coming out of the offseason. But hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We are over 500 in a chat. 500. Make sure to stay tapped in with everything that we got coming your way. If any news breaks, all right, I'm just dying there. If any news
breaking news, Pat, the designer's lungs are failing.
Breaking news, Pat the designer has signed a lifetime contract with the Lord. He's going to be out.
With the Lord.
He's going to be out for the rest of his days. Little lung butter popping up there. See, you see how that happens, though? Remember that first Ben Johnson question? Every now and then you get a little lung butter pops up in there. Every now and then. Nothing crazy. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. For Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, it is your boy, Pat the designer. Back at it again. Bed down. One love. Peace.
Hey, so Pat, what position are you going to be playing for the Heavenly Angels?
No, I'm going to be... gonna be playing left wing.
For Chicago sports.
That chicken nugget? All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Somebody said a chicken nugget potluck back then when we were talking about the nuggets. That cracked
chicken nugget potluck, not bad.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. That would be epic. That would be big back activity, but that would be epic.
Breaking news, Pat the designer sells his soul for 3 Bulls wins. My soul worth more than that. It ain't worth a championship, but it's worth more than 3 Bulls wins.
Shout out to Modest for getting 41. Everybody had 30 points yesterday.
That was a crazy day yesterday. Who did more, NFL or NBA? Hey. Campaign had 32 and 10.
Bam Adebayo put the NBA back on the map, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of free throws.
Like 50 free throws.
A lot of free throws.